going on, everybody? Nick from Hackett Garage. If you're a car guy like me, you grew up watching car shows, and I don't know if it's just me, but there's always one or two vehicles in the background of the show that always spark the interest, and you're wishing that TV show would work on that car, but the TV show is vast in all kinds of car culture that they work on dozens of projects. Well, this truck is kind of relatable to that, because this truck I started building 3 years ago, and it's been pretty much just a background truck ever since I put it behind everything else. Haven't had a chance to work on it in 3 years. The most thing I've done is put different tires on it, but that's going to change. We got signed up to go four-wheeling in a month, and now it's time to dig this truck out of the woodwork and see if we can make to the event. So let's get started. So before I move this thing into the garage, let's talk about it for a minute. First off, if you're a Squarebody guy, you notice that it's a mid-80s short bed K10 Chevy. It's got 1-ton axles under it. It's got 6-inch lift in the front, and it's got 56-inch springs in the rear with a shackle flip. I think that should work out pretty good on the trails. Eventually I might go to a longer spring in the front, but we want to see how it does just like this. It's got, oh yeah, it's got an LS in it. Sorry for the guys that don't like LS's, but I wanted a pretty reliable fuel injection, and it was either this or TBI Big Block. So I had a lot of stuff for the LS already. It's got, other than a cab full of junk, it's got an SM465 with granny low that's hooked to a 205 transfer case. So it should be pretty alright in the woods, I think. But I bought this truck 4 years ago, and it was on a 4-wheel drive swapped 2-wheel drive frame that was bent, mangled, everything. So I had this nice short bed frame that I redid and put put the body and the axles from the other truck on this. So that's pretty much the quick layover of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'd like to change. I made all the brake lines and everything. I made the clutch line. I made all that stuff a few years ago, and you know, there's some things I want to change, some things that are going to stay the same. We got the steering box brace on there, strengthen it up a little bit. We've got Off-Road Design, another steering box brace. Just pretty much, I had a lot of this stuff just lying around, so I figured this was the perfect truck to put it on. Had it left over from other projects. Certainly isn't pretty, but it's gonna be cool. And I've waited 3 years to do it. So the hood is not bolted on. It's kind of just sitting here. Front fenders have, I think, 2 bolts in them just for looks. I can't remember if the Core Sport's bolted down or not. Pretty much just to look decent while it's sat here. Had to dig out the service truck. So I'm gonna blow the tire up on this turd. Look at that. phone fell off the tripod, so I guess that's less that I gotta edit out now. But give this thing a little bit closer of a look now that's in the garage. When I worked on this thing years ago, like I said before, I made all the brake lines, clutch line, made all that stuff nice, and ran it all the way over there. Tried to do it the best I could, but I think one of the first changes we're gonna make is instead of the manual brakes, I want to switch to a hydro boost setup to run off the LS because one, I'm running disc brakes in the rear, and two, eventually down the road, this thing's probably going to have hydro assist on it. So I figured if I put the hydro boost on it now, I won't have to do it later. All I got to do is tap into the steering box, and hopefully that'll be all right. So that's one of the first changes we're going to make. And that'll probably endure either ruining or making new brake lines, because this unit's only about 8 inches long. The Hydro Boost is double that. I think it's 15 inches long, so I have to figure out what we're doing there. Steering column, I either got to buy a bushing for that or I got to swap it out to a column I have upstairs that has a U-joint style steering shaft. There we go. My brain just went blank for a minute. So it's got a U-joint style steering shaft that go to the steering box. That'll be a whole separate video because I have crossover steering and all the steering for this thing, but I have to wait until we change the front end. We're gonna get rid of that contraption. These axles have 373 gears. When I just put them in when I put the truck together because that's what I had. Now I've got a set of 456 gears that are going to go in it out of the Blue Moose out back. So we're going to start with that. That'll be a video, I think after this one, we'll do a video of taking the axles out of that truck and swapping them. And then we'll work on putting them in this truck. But for now, more stuff I've got to do is got to finish putting the floor pan in. This was a 2-wheel drive truck, so I had to cut the trans tunnel. I've got a 70s removable tunnel I might put in there. I've got to redo this rocker. Not that it's probably not going to get screwed up out on the trail, but at least if I change the rocker, then at least the cab's just a little more structurally sound. It's a little stronger. We got to do gauges. I've got a Holley terminator system for this, so I got to figure out where to put my little monitor. I want to run all mechanical gauges as well as the electronic ones off the terminator, just in case something happens electronically. We can still get accurate readings. The bed, I don't think there's nothing going on here. In the back, when I put the shackle flip on, I didn't have the bed on, so I didn't have any weight, so this thing actually sat nice. But as soon as I put the weight of the bed on it, my shackle did one of these numbers. So I think, since this is one of the few frames that's drilled for 2 sets of spring length holes, I put this shackle on in the 52-inch spring mount holes, but it also has the ones for the 56, and this is what these springs are. So I think I'm just going to unbolt that, move it back to the next set of holes right back there, and hopefully that'll lift the rear end up and use the shackle properly. So we're going to do that. And another big thing is, when I started putting this truck together, this was going to be more of like a street truck and kind of woods oriented, but we're moving more towards like hardcore four-wheeling, I'm hoping, with it. So I bought a brand new gas tank to go in there with a sending unit and everything, but I think now we're gonna switch gears, and I have all the fuel system for 2 types of setups, but I think we're gonna use my 16-gallon fuel cell that I had in my mega truck a few years ago. We're gonna mount that in the bed and just have everything. We're gonna have probably the fuel fuel cell mounted right here with a toolbox next to it, and then I've got a filter, pump, and then I've also got, I wish I had a creeper, it's hard to tell, but I also have a Corvette style fuel filter slash regulator already under this thing. It's plumbed up there already. So between that and the external fuel pump and another filter, we should be okay. So I don't know, we're gonna see how this thing does as we're putting it together. And I mean, obviously we'll make exhaust and everything for it. Try to video as much of it as I can. Obviously there's little pitter patter shit that I'm not gonna video, but there's a lot of stuff, little small stuff that I have to do while I'm waiting on parts. So I guess that'll be this video, now that we've gone over this thing a little bit and introduced the next project. I can't not tell you how excited I am. We're gonna be working on this thing again. I've been wanting to do it for such a long time, but there's little stuff that I could have done to it over time, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait until I can make an actual video about it. So that's that. And yeah, so look forward to seeing this on the channel. We're going to have a bunch of small videos, and hopefully when we get this thing going, we'll have a big video of just how it performs. So thank you guys. I know it's been a while, but like, comment, subscribe, and show your support. We appreciate all the followers and subscribers. So let's get to it.